Okay, so we're now looking at solving some linear equations that have brackets in them. So if I go to my first one, I've got 5 brackets x plus 3. Now we know that when we've got a bracket with a number, that's a little times in there, little invisible times sign. And the really important thing to remember is if I've got a little times in there, I need to be doing 5 times the x and the 3. And it's not just 5 times x or just 5 times 3. So first thing I'm going to do is multiply out my brackets. So I've got my 5 times my x and my 5 times my 3. So 5 times x is going to give me 5x. And my 5 times 3 is going to give me plus 15. And then on that side, I've still got my 20. So now this looks as slightly more as we'd expect it. So we've got an x that's being multiplied by 5, and then we're adding 15 to it. So I need to work out, I've got my 5x that's having 15 added to it. How am I going to get rid of my 15 just to make it 5x? Because remember, at the end, I want to come down to just x equals. So to get rid of that plus 15, I need to subtract 15. And I'm going to do it to both sides to keep my sides balanced. So we've got 5x plus 15 minus 15 equals 20 minus 15. So if I look at my plus 15 and my minus 15, I get 0. So on this side, we're going to just have 5x equals, and then 20 minus 15 is 5. So now I've got 5 lots of x that give me 5. So I need to work out what I'm multiplying by 5 to give me my 5. So what's the inverse of times 5? Well, it's going to be divide 5. So I'm going to do that to both sides. So we have 5x divided by 5 equals 5 divided by 5. So 5x divided by 5 we can see is going to be 1x, because 5 divided by 5 is 1. So I've got my x there. And then 5 divided by 5, as I just said, was 1. So my solution should be x equals 1. Now, if I put that back into my original equation, I've got 1 plus 3, because I always do the brackets first, so that's going to give me 1 plus 3 is 4. And then I'm multiplying with that little invisible times by 5, so that gives me 20. And that's exactly what I wanted. So we've solved that one. If I move to this side, I've got 3 times x plus 2. So that means 3 lots of x plus 2. So I'm going to multiply out my brackets. So 3 times x, because of my little invisible sign, is going to give me 3x. And 3 times 2 is going to give me 6. And on this side, I've got 14. Now, I've got 3x and I'm adding 6, so I need to get rid of my 6. How can I get rid of 6? Well, I want to get it to 0, so I'm going to subtract 6. And do that from both sides to keep it balanced. So now I've got 3x plus 6 minus 6, which is going to be 14 minus 6. Now we've got what we wanted, because our plus 6 and our minus 6 give me 0. So on this side, I'm just left with 3x. And then on this side, 14 minus 6 is going to give me 8. So now I want my answer to have x equals something. So how can I get rid of my 3 times, which is what I'm doing to my x? So I've got 3 lots of x. How do I get rid of them? Well, I do the inverse of times 3, which is divide 3, and I do that to both sides. So we've got 3x divided by 3 on that side, and we've got 8 divided by 3 on that side. So 3x divided by 3 is just going to give me 1x. And 8 divided by 3 is a fraction. Now, 3 doesn't go into 8 a whole number of times, so I'm going to change that into a mixed number. So how many 3s do go into 8? Well, that's going to be 2, because 3 times 2 is 6. And then I'm left with a remainder of 2, and they are thirds, because we've got 2 thirds left over. So that should be our solution. And if we put it back into our equation, then I get 2 and 2/3 plus 2, which is going to be 4 and 2/3. And then if I multiply 4 and 2/3 by 3, I will get 14. So that's my solution for that one.
Okay, Mary, so let's have a look at this one. So solve x plus 2x equals 12. So what do you think you do first?
Okay, well, I want x on its own, so I would put x equals 12 minus 2x.
Okay, so a lot of the time we want to get x by itself, but what we want to do first is get all of these x's together. So can you see anything we can do with this? Get all these together in one place.
Oh, okay, it's 3x, isn't it?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
3x equals 12. Oh, and so x equals 4.
Brilliant, spot on, well done.